What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as promised in the other video, I want to go ahead and discuss the actual content that we're going to be receiving when it comes to Season 6 in Modern Warfare 2, because, again, we're reaching the end of the game here, I understand, but all of this stuff is extraordinarily lackluster, in my personal opinion. Some of it does look cool, I can't lie. There's some decent things that I do want to discuss. But overall, the amount of rehashed content that Infinity Ward keeps pushing into this game, it really does just simply blow my mind. And it makes me think that they are simply just trying to get back at the community at this point. You know, how much crap we give them every single time they put out a game. It's really starting to make me think that all of this stuff is being done intentionally. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, before we go ahead and discuss, I do want to mention, if you do enjoy today's video and you want to see some more content revolving around Call of Duty or even X-Defined, don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell. We post daily here at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And last but not least, we won't be streaming today, but we will be back on Monday over on Twitch, just like every month at the end of the month. Every single time around, we go over on Twitch just for 1 week to, show a little love to the platform still, since we've been on it for so long. Usually we're over on Kick. But if you guys do want to check that out, we'll probably play something like GTA still. We've been really enjoying that. You can find the link to my Twitch channel and, of course, my Kick channel when we go on back there down in the description of this video. All right, so let's go ahead and begin very quickly with just a lineup of what we're going to be seeing out of Call of Duty in the near future before we go ahead and discuss the actual content that's coming out on the 27th. First and foremost, as you can see, Season 6, September 27th, we already discussed. Then it's going to be Call of Duty Next on October 5th. I believe we're going to be seeing a little bit more, maybe detailed gameplay of what Modern Warfare 3 is all about during this event. So that's going to be happening very shortly. Again, we are indeed entering the months of, where a lot of content, a lot of stuff to discuss, a lot of, things to, a lot of stuff is happening. So it's to be expected. Then up next, the betas for Modern Warfare 3, which honestly, I don't know if it's going to be too many people playing the beta, because I know a lot of people aren't really too interested with this title, but of course I still have to go ahead and say it. October 6th through 10th is the PlayStation exclusive beta, and then crossplay is October 12th through 16th. I really hope, if or when Microsoft takes over Activision, this is no longer a thing with this, I really do despise the early PlayStation betas. It is what it is. So, of course, if anybody wants to go ahead and showcase some gameplay on the channel, I always give you guys a shout out. I do this pretty much every single year around, so when the beta comes out on PlayStation, if you guys want to, have a little shout out for your channel and just show a little love over on here, I'll showcase your gameplay if you would like. And then, obviously, when the crossplay beta comes out, we're going to grind it, get an opinion, review, so on and so forth, as we always do. Then the Haunting event on October 17th, which will be kind of interesting, some spooky vibes in Call of Duty. I'm interested in that. And then November 2nd, the campaign early access, and then November 10th, the launch. So, yeah, they went ahead, gave us a little bit of a roadmap. Not too shabby. I can't complain about this, because I always am one to basically encourage this type of communication. And, to talk down on something like this would be stupid of me. So, I do enjoy it. Maybe a little bit more communication will be fantastic as well. But this is, whatever. It's whatever. But let's get into the real details of today's video. And that is the content that we'll be getting in the beginning of Season 6 for Modern Warfare 2. I don't know if it's going to be anything coming in mid-season. I have no clue. Maybe there will be. But this is basically the, the start-off content. And I have to be real. Again, like I said, it's a little lackluster. First and foremost, we're going to be getting another version of the ISO here. As you can see on the screen, it's identical, except this version is going to be a 9mm version of the weapon. Of course, it's going to change some attributes of the weapon, just like how the M13C changed some attributes from the M13B. But if you've been watching my channel for a while now, you probably saw that one video of the comparison of the M13B and the M13C. And to me personally, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. The M13B could have easily been turned into the M13C. You could do it in the gunsmith, no hassle. And you could have just added in a completely new style of rifle, right? But no, they're rehashing stuff to put into the game, maybe because it's less effort, or they're trying to add into, this whole new system where guns have multiple different parts and pieces and, forms. I don't know what it's all about. I don't really care for it. I was, expecting something new out of the mid-season event. And then again here with the ISO 9mm, I guarantee you could probably do whatever you want to the ISO that's already in the current build of Modern Warfare 2 and make it into this. I guarantee it. Maybe the fire rate will be a little bit of something that, you would have to tweak around, but at the end of the day, it's still an SMG. They're both SMGs. I'm going to use them both equally. I don't, I'm just not very pleased with this, to be completely honest with you. Again, I would love to hear your guys' opinions down in the comment section. Maybe I'm over-exaggerating here, but the amount of rehashed content that we've seen in this game, to me personally, is just absolutely insane. I also almost forgot as well that we got the Latchman Shroud too. You know, like an MP5 that we already have in the game that could have easily just had a burst fire attachment turned into a completely different version of the gun to put into the game to advertise as new content. Come back, grind our game, put playtime in our game for a new gun that is basically the same thing that you already have within the game already. Now, to make up for it, we are getting a different assault rifle, finally, something new in the game, not just rehashed stuff. I forget what it's called, the TR-76 or something like that. I'll post up, an image here. I can't really tell. It looks like the Ram or, maybe the TAR. It looks more like the Ram, personally, to me, from Modern Warfare 2019, so once again, nothing insane. We already played with this gun before, in my opinion. Maybe I'll play differently. I have no clue because I don't really know too much about weapons. So if it's any, gun heads, again, down in the comment section, if you know a little bit more details about this specific weapon here, go ahead and list them. But for the time being, it looks like the Ram from Modern Warfare 2019. And again, it doesn't really blow my mind. We're not seeing anything new, anything innovative. We are in a game that could potentially tap into some different weapons that might be, prototypes or just simply stuff that's not out yet that could be introduced into the game. It doesn't have to be like advanced warfare status stuff like in Vanguard where they had a World War II game with advanced warfare styled weapons. But they could mess around and try, different things just to add variety into the game. I don't know, maybe they're waiting for Modern Warfare 3 to drop all the weapons because, that is one of the biggest selling points for Modern Warfare 3, we're going to have the most amount of weapons and content at launch. It's going to be insane the amount of variety of weapons that you'll have. So maybe they're holding off for that and they're just giving us, rehashed crap until then. At the end of the day, I don't care. This game is still a game that people paid $70+ for. It doesn't matter what's coming up next or how they're trying to, move on with the Call of Duty franchise. We should be getting new, unique stuff in this overall title here. I don't know. I would say, if anything, I'm mostly anticipating the rifle. I think the rifle is the coolest out of the bunch, but that's not really saying much at all. You know what I mean? Of course, we'll go ahead and make content about it and review them and discuss them and compare them. Maybe we'll go back to Modern Warfare 2019, do some comparison videos. It's a lot of content to be made, but I'm just not too pleased with the direction that Infinity Ward is taking the end of the life cycle of this title. They haven't put any effort into multiplayer this whole year, and then at the end of the year, they're still barely just putting in the most bare minimum amount. I don't know. I'm a little underwhelmed. But then there's the actual maps as well that are coming into Modern Warfare 2 for Season 6. And yeah, we have to go ahead and discuss this as well because, once again, just like with the weapons, I'm just not really too pleased. When it comes to 2v2, it is, it's whatever, honestly. They're bringing in one map that was from Modern Warfare 2019, so once again, another remaster. I forget what it was for Gunfight. I think, what was it, King or something like that? I forget the name of it. And then the other Gunfight map just looks like another reimagined version of Shoot House, so even though it's different than Shoot House, still, nothing new. It just, they're nostalgia baiting people at this point, and I can't even consider that nostalgia because Shoot House was made in 2019, so, it's not like it's been that long ago. But, I guess the map was memorable enough that they are going to go ahead and rehash it as much as possible to give content for people to, come back to and say, oh, look, Shoot House is back. Then there's going to be two maps. Now, the first map, La Casa, is actually looking pretty decent. I am a little bit, I don't know. I feel like Infinity Ward really has been just rammed when it comes to designing large maps. They've been scarred. I'll be honest, 2019 had really bad large maps. I despised them in 2019. But that doesn't mean I hate big maps. I'm more of a medium to large sized, map person. I don't really like small maps. And all these maps, besides, maybe the previous one that just came out that had inspiration from Favela, that was a little bit more on the large size. So, I respect that. But a lot of them have been just really crammed, small styled maps. Nothing bad with it, though. I guess the overall community will enjoy this. I just wish that they would, explore a little bit more with, how they can get some map designs down. I don't want them to give up on large-scaled maps. I just wish that they would, have a different vision on how they should be laid out, because large-scale maps are, honestly, some of the most iconic in Call of Duty, in my opinion. And, they just haven't really hit like they did back in the day. But then the next map is honestly something that I am a little bit more interested in. I don't know if anybody else is going to really be interested in it, but it's Koro Village. Now, the best part about Koro Village is that it's actually a remaster from Call of Duty 2. Now, I'm going to be honest, I never really played that much Call of Duty 2 back in the day in its prime. I started off with Call of Duty 2, the big red one, which is a completely different, game. Not Call of Duty 2, the original. But I have gone back and played a ton of Call of Duty 2 recently. I put in a lot of hours, trust me, almost as more hours as some of the other games out there. It's a really fun game, and honestly, the sniping in Call of Duty 2 is legendary. But the map that's taken inspiration from is, how do you pronounce this again? Tujane or something like that? I'll throw up an image for you guys so you can see what the map is. And that is what the brand new map Village is inspired off of. And I'll be real, it looks really good. For me personally, it's, I'm happy with it because it's a medium to large sized map, so I can have my variety gameplays. It's not just going to be a small map with horrible spawns, just all this crap going on. I'll have a little bit of variety. But it still just sucks that, it seems like the only way they'll put out anything that has more variety in gameplay is if it's a remaster. Because if people are going to complain about it being large, then Infinity Ward has, the backstory to say, oh, well, this map was from a different game, so you can't really complain about it. Same thing with, kind of like Tarak, Tarak was one of the, honestly, I'm not too mad about the map variety when it comes to Modern Warfare 2 in the beginning. I actually enjoyed the vast majority. I think the two most controversial maps in the game were Tarak and the Border Crossing. And Border Crossing could have been better. It could have been made into something a little bit nicer. It's not my most hated map out of the whole franchise. But Tarak, everybody despised that. I enjoyed it because, there's ways of playing it, especially if you play OBJ. If you play TDM, yeah, it's obviously going to suck. It's horrible in TDM, but Domination is fantastic. Hardpoint's actually pretty good. But that was their excuse, like one of the only and massively large-scaled maps in the game at launch. And it's like, oh, that map sucks. Well, guess what? It's a classic remaster, so you can't complain too much. It seems like, Infinity Ward, when it comes to making larger maps, they're going to be sticking to this, this style of only bringing back remasters to kind of protect themselves. But, one map is new. If we're going to be realistic here, one map is new. La Casa. That's it. And it looks like a cool map. I'm down to play it. I'm not saying I hate small maps because I don't, So it's going to be interesting to play. But the rest of them are basically remasters. King is a remaster. Koro Village, remaster. And Fight, which is the new gunfight map that is inspired off of Shoot House. Not a remaster, but let's be honest, it looks like Shoot House. Okay, so I'm going to consider it Shoot House, just in a smaller form for gunfight. But ladies and gentlemen, that right there is the content that we're getting within Season 6. And again, it just seems just a bit stale. I'm not trying to be completely overwhelmingly negative about all of this stuff, but let's be honest here. Does it not seem a bit stale? A lot of stuff being rehashed, remastered, and then Modern Warfare 3 is going to be dropping, and all of the maps at launch are just going to be Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps. Something's going on here. I don't know if it's because we're complaining so much and they don't have much confidence when it comes to, putting anything together, but something seems a bit fishy, and I'm very curious to see if you all think the same. But as always, leave a like if you enjoyed, leave a dislike if you hated it. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell if you want to see more content just like this. We post daily, and we'll be over on Twitch this week starting on Monday. So if you guys want to catch some streams, I have links to all my socials down below. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.